Today's topic is science behind routines and why they are our parents' best friend during lockdown. So today I'm going to talk about routines and what is the science behind the routines and why we should incorporate this in our daily life. And second, we're going to talk about how this routine is going to benefit you and your children. And third, very important part, that how this routine is going to help you and how you're going to incorporate, what are the ways to incorporate this into your daily life. So I will start with one very important research, which is a developmental research, which reveals that once you're able to incorporate flexible routines, the word flexible means that parents can actually adapt and adjust to the growth of the child. If you're able to incorporate flexible routine to a child's life, then you'll have healthier mental health, and then you will have less stress and manageable times. So I would ask everyone here to imagine a day, picture a day where you don't have to ask millions in times for your child to get dressed and wear their shoes, eat food on time, do not you don't have to beg for the time when do not involve so much time on the screen here. So this all is very that if you would picture a day with not doing all of that, that day would be very serene, very cooperative, very nice. But then the idea behind this is that this is not totally attainable. There are days and you would have to the children will not incorporate with all of that. But then what we can do is that we can actually apply healthier routines in the child's life. And so research actually says that once you have the healthier routine, your brain power is higher, and also very important, you have a very good mental health, very good emotional health. And especially at the age where children have started to involve so much in the screen time, the research is saying that the mental health is actually going down. So once we have a routine, we'll be able to manage that for our child. So but then I'm not saying that free play and unstructured play is not what we have to pitch in. We definitely have to pitch in that, but then there is a balance that we have to maintain by having small changes in the child's routine, which can be done by different ways, like which I would also be covering later. But then this very important part, which how I am supposed to go about it, this has improvement at the brain power level and also at the mental health level. So I will explain you how this all begins, what is the science behind all of this. The science behind this is that we all know that brain is made up of neurons. There are a lot of neurons in our brain and our body. But when I talk about neurons in the brain, which is this, so for example, there are 5 neurons in the brain, and you pick up a new activity like eating a fruit a day, maybe a physical exercise, or maybe something else. So there is a line which connects these neurons, okay? And that line is very, very thin when you start the behavior. But when you start repeating that behavior, then that line which is connecting the neurons becomes thick. And that is the science behind routine. Routine is basically that repeated automatic behavior which will require some conscious effort initially, but later it would come just like that. So here the brain actually depends on two basic rules. One is the energy levels, and the other is very important for us to know here is the reward level. So brain doesn't understand the difference between bad and good. Brain understands only two things. One is the energy that it has, and brain is very smart, so it will be very happy when you have to involve less energy in doing something. So brain would actually promote a routine when the line is thickening. The brain is very happy. He doesn't have to do much of the job here, and the less energy is consumed. So brain is the one which actually saves the energy. So actions which would require less energy, then there you would see that there is a routine that is formed. And second, a reward is being formed. Reward is being formed means that whenever we do an action, whenever, for example, when I take an example of routine here, so routine, screen time here, then screen time would also add a reward to our brain, which is dopamine. Dopamine is something which comes as a reward, and that, strengthens the behavior. Again, that line which is connecting the neuron becomes more thick. So that is when we should understand that brain would actually take in more behaviors if you're continuously doing something. So they don't understand if, for example, you're involved in smoking, or if you're involved in some behaviors like screen time. If you're repeatedly doing that, your neurons, the connectivity between the neurons will become stronger, and of course with the screen time the dopamine gets high, so that behavior becomes stronger. So the balance is very important. The balance is very important when we incorporating routines. Also, there is one more thing when I talk about the science. One is, of course, brain, which I've explained right now, and then the second very important is, whenever we are learning a behavior, any behavior that we want to incorporate in our life, there is one very simple concept, which is that any behavior, any habit that is present would be learned through the cue. There is a cue for us to learn a behavior, which means an association between two things. Like, for example, if I go to the restroom, I will wash my hands. So that's the association. And the reward which I would get is, I'm, saving myself from the germs. Same is like that. When, for example, if there is a kid and he really likes to hear a story at the bedtime, so there is an association. At bedtime story, and he would feel better. So this is exactly what is happening between the two things. The first thing, that your brain power, the energy and the reward. And second, which is very important, that we have to understand that we always need a cue to develop a behavior. Now I would like to tell you that how this particular thing is going to help your child. We know that we definitely can develop a behavior, but then how do we actually come up with something that how this is going to help your child? We should know that. First is emotional stability. It is going to help your child with the emotional stability level, which is that when you are having a routine, it becomes predictable what to do next. So a child here will become more confident in their approach. So they will say, oh mama, now is the time to have my night suit on. So this is what is, they are more confident in their approach, more I would say more successful in their approach. So predictability, when there is a routine, predictability will have more confidence and successful in the child. And second very important part here is that these days there's anxiety very common in children, and anxiety in children usually is seen at the level where they're not able to concentrate much, they're not able to decide between a lot of options, they get very confused, and they are not able to choose something very immediately. So this creates a lot of stress in their mind. So to actually cut down that, we can have a routine where there's some things which are already planned, so the child doesn't have to take a lot of stress to do all of that, and he would be able to prioritize on the tasks which would need more mental attention. So this is very important. I will definitely take down all the questions in the last 15 minutes, and with that, this is one, the emotional stability is very important in the child, which will be developed through having routines. And the second part is time management. The child will be able to understand the clock, because when the child is very young, he's understanding the concepts like time, clock, schedules. So he'll be able to attach. Then again I said there's an association. So association, he would be able to understand that at 9 o'clock I'm supposed to have my dinner. But then I would say, when you're working with the child here, do not be very strict with the time. I would say give him a longer frame of time. Like say that you'll have to wake up between 7 to 8, not at 7, not at 7:30, but then I would request telling your child to begin at 7 to 8. Use that time as a time period, okay? And then second second, time management. The third, self-regulation. He'll be able to have more hygiene habits, more regulation in their own behavior. He'll be able to understand that what is the next thing that I'm supposed to do. So that would become as a practice. So self-regulation is one, and the fourth and the most important one is that you'll be able to have more connect and connection with the child. The connection that you would have with the child, and after forming a routine, would be very nice. But then there's a very like a point that we really have to understand here, that if we are asking our child to understand a particular routine and say follow that routine, you instruct the child, you wake up at 7 or maybe between 7 to 8, but then try and do that yourself too. So a child, when he starts learning, he would start learning by observation more than the statements, right? So as a psychologist, this is very important for me to tell you people that the child initially would learn through observation. The initial learning is done through imitation only. So whatever, even if you have a child that you have a problem with, that he watches a lot of TV while eating, so when you want your child to incorporate a routine when he's not having have food without watching TV, so I would say that here you start doing that. Maybe there's someone in your family who's already watching TV. So I would request everyone connectively, cooperatively, have an environment where you're working with the child and you're also doing the same kind of a behavior. So also very important that we should know how we should do this. This is very important. The benefits, that how a brain takes up all of these things. But then how are we supposed to incorporate these things in our child? And that is usually done by, there are ways that forming rituals. So rituals, how do we form rituals? We form rituals by, having one task leading to the other. Having an association between one task to the other. So this is very important, having a cue for a thing. Like I would say bedtime rituals. So brushing your teeth and then having your night suit done, then having a lullaby, or maybe you can have a story time. So this would have a very balanced routine. And I must tell you here that children who are having a proper bedtime ritual, and even adults for that matter, people who have proper bedtime rituals, they tend to have a better sleep and better mental health. Okay, so this rituals is very important, where you connect one part of the story to another. So one part of the action to the other, that after you do this, then you might get that. So there is a concept called when and then. So when you study a book, then you will get your food. So add on that concept of when and then in your child's life. So that is very, very important. And this is the two ways by which you will be adding to. One is association, and second is by having one leading to the other. And one thing is very important, but you should know what to change, what to actually add on into your child's life. So I would say take a paper and take a paper and for a week observe what is happening in your child's life. Just write down each and every step that the child is doing. Understand, have an understanding of all of that, have a proper self-awareness about it. We need to, and even if it is about you, have a proper week which is spent on understanding yourself, where there is a self-awareness that yes, you want to do this, and then incorporate changes, then again add on a value, but then very, very important that add in with a very, very small change. Do not expect your child to immediately pick up something. So add in with a very small step, like for example, just if you want to make your child diet very nutritious, then you can just add one fruit in the diet. So that's a very small change. So that is one. And second, if you want to have a physical exercise added to your child's schedule, then you would have to do something like, your physical exercise takes longer. So you can say, and also once I've said that there's a cue involved, there's also a reward involved when you want a brain to pick up a behavior. So when you want your child to incorporate a particular behavior, reward him. This is also called reinforcement in psychology. Reinforce your child so that that behavior gets increased. Reinforce means rewarding your child, rewarding with anything that, if you sleep on time, if you sleep at 8 o'clock for 2 days, so do not make it for like for an entire week. Begin with very small changes. So if you sleep on at 8 o'clock for 2 days, then I will make your favorite pasta. I will give you Maggie, or I will give you a car, or I would get your favorite colors. So something rewarding is very important. So that is the gist of what routine is basically, you know, how routine is very, very important for all of us. I would like to take some questions before I proceed more. One is, how can I divide the time slots for my sister who's 8 in preparing a routine for her? How to make sure it does not become monotonous? So, very interesting question, Riddhi. How you can do that is, one, the nice part about your question is that you do not make it monotonous. Very interesting and very good concern about a child. So, as a psychologist, I really want to put forward this thought that always, whenever you're working with a child, whenever, even when at my personal experience, I really want to put forward this thought that you have your height like this and the child is at this height. But when you're working with a child, come here, literally and practically. So we have to understand what their interest is, what their habits are, what they want to do in life, what they don't like to do in life. First, we have to make the list of things that the child likes, and then, we can collaboratively, very important, do not instruct the child, but then I would say collaboratively work with the child, where you would tell, Acha, what do you want to add in your schedule? So he would say, okay, I'm okay with maybe adding a fruit in my diet, or I'm okay adding like 10 minutes of exercise in my daily routine. Then you add that routine, but make sure that after 4 days maybe any fixed number of time, any interval you can choose, maybe a week, maybe 2 days or 4 days according to your convenience, and you can reward the child. You can reward her for completing that task so that she would get more excited to complete another 4 days, and then you can do that. So this is one thing. One, you should make a list of what her interests is, and then rewarding her so that it does not become monotonous for her. And the second question is, in lockdown, how to make routine? There are not much activities to keep in the routine when we are at home. Thank you, Jill, for such question. It's very interesting and very informative when we are working with children here. And we have to make a routine. I would say children get very excited when they, get to act like adults. So, I would say add on routine into the child's life, but very basic. But then add a little different element to that, which is that you can add yourself in that same scene. So, for example, that you say that, I want to add dance to my daily life. So 20 minutes, me and my child both will be dancing, or yoga, or anything that you want to a healthy living pattern that you want to add to your child's life. You can add that, but then add that at a level where you both are doing. So then the child will be more excited and more enthusiastic to complete that task and do that task also. So I think that that is one activity that would come as an interesting part and also very healthy part. And also how to make a routine, have an association to the certain things and reward it. Reward your child with something if you want that particular thing to happen. But begin with very, very small changes. Yeah? Then there is another thing that I really want to put forward, that this is something that, we have a bedtime ritual. But then, we can also incorporate ourselves with a morning ritual where we're waking up and having a glass of water. So that is also a new activity which will be added to our schedule. But then that's a morning ritual. Waking up, going, a lot of people have prayer as the morning ritual. So whenever, but then very, very important, if you want your child to learn that particular behavior, you would also have to pick up that behavior and do it with your child. So that's how child works. So morning ritual where you tell, okay, once you get a when and then, the concept of when and then, when your child gets up, then you have to wash your face first. So that's a very small routine that you can add to your child's life. You start practicing. So whenever you wake up and your child wakes up, you both go and wash your face. So that's a new routine which is added to your schedule, right? And 1 minute. Are there any more questions? Please come up with more questions so that I can answer you here. Yes, there's another question. 1 second. This is by Saha Dimple. Playtime is now extended just so I can manage work at the same time as taking care of kids. I want to inculcate the idea that they can follow a routine themselves as well, so that they complete schoolwork and then focus on other things. Any suggestions on that, please? It would be really helpful. Yes, definitely. I mean, it's a very good question that the play work is definitely extended for children these days. So, just like I said that, rewarding the child would really help here. So, you can tell, I understand that you must be very busy with the work here. So, what you can do here is that, if I see my child, you can tell your child that, once you complete a particular task, after 4 days, if you continue to behave nicely, I would reward you with a nice action. Or maybe also it is very interesting to know that children really like the part when you're appreciating them in front of your family. So what you can do is, one time if your child has done it, appreciate the child in front of the entire family. That makes your child very confident. And I would say, one, this is that, and second, collaboratively sit with your child and ask them that if you're willing to do that, when we try to understand the child and when you talk to him like an adult, he would be able to do it. So one day when he does it, come back home and appreciate him in front of the family and in front of your husband and someone. So that would work as a reward for the child, and he would want to do it again. So he'll be able to complete his schoolwork and then focus on other things. So you can always add the concept of when and then, but then by always rewarding the child. So that is how children learn. This is called operant conditioning in psychology, where you use reinforcement to increase a particular behavior. So rewarding something to increase a particular behavior in child. Second question is that my daughter is 17 months and she is hyperactive child. Though I have a routine going on for her, but sometimes it doesn't go as planned because of her mood swings. Okay. Besides, she is growing, and due to lockdown, even the play schools are closed, and I don't know how to cope up with energy. Please suggest some. What should I introduce? Okay, very nice question, Ujjwala. What you can do here is that I think that your daughter is 17 months. So in that case, when I talk about a hyperactive child, here I think not much with the activities, but of course you will do with the activities, but also look for the nutrition the child is having. There are a lot of nutritions which definitely acts and increase the hyperactivities in children. So like bananas and even a lot of milk would also increase the hyperactivity. That is what you should, I think, one thing that you should look for. And the other thing, you can definitely involve colors in your child's life. Give the child activities more related to colors. Give her a sheet of paper, draw with her, draw like maybe an apple or a mango, and you draw with her. So it is very important that again I'm mentioning very like a very important concept when working with children, that please have the idea of collaborative work for a child to complete anything. Your child will be able to complete a task when there is a collaborative effort, and manage a task when again there is a collaborative effort here. So that's what I think. Look for the nutrition and then add for the collaborative work with the child, and use colors, and that would really help the child in the lockdown, because play schools are closed, and I understand it must be very, very tough for you here. So definitely I think nutrition is one of the things that I think you should majorly focus on. Okay, and then on Komal is writing here that on some days we have a routine, but on some days it is so difficult to find activities to keep child engaged all the time. So in that case, what to do? I would, when initially I started this session, I mentioned here that, it is very important for us to, that, sometimes it be unattainable. Sometimes it is okay to let go the routine for the child also. But then, it is very important to be very flexible with the child. So, what in that case, what you can do is whatever activity you are doing, maybe when you're cooking, maybe when you are going for shopping, so you can ask the child to do something with you. So when you're cooking, you can just ask the child to, maybe, when you're doing the dough, so you can ask the child to just put water. So he'll be engaged in the same way. So sometimes it doesn't have to be a routine, but then it can be a managed, self-disciplined way by having your child to do the same things. And remember, the child loves being an adult. So this is a very interesting part. So if you give activities which are involved in the fact that, he's able to act like an adult, he would love that. So, if you're making a roti, so ask him to just make a very, very small roti for if it's a girl child, for the Barbie or something. So, they would really like that. And you can also ask the child, so, you can clean the cupboard and you can give him one set of maybe clothes, you give him two clothes and you can ask him to fold it. So having small activities, and then of course don't forget to, reward the child. So if you want any child to have a consistent patterns, so two steps important very here, that one, the consistency is very important, and second, that you should have small steps with the child, not very, very big steps. Very small changes, very, very small changes. Do not add immediately that you would come up with something very big. Very small steps. So waking up at 8 o'clock, 8 to 9 o'clock, but for 2 days. Reward him for 2 days, and then he'll increase it by 3 days, 4 days, 5 days and 6 days, like that. But slowly and gradually. Yeah. Are there any more questions? I would request everyone to put in more questions. I'll wait for few more questions to come in. So what I'll do is I'll give you a quick revision of what happened today. So one, that how our brain works. Our brain is a very smart organ of our body, I would say, and very, very smart. So it only works on two concepts. One is energy and the other is reward. So once okay, so one is so the repetition, where you having the constant repetition, the connection of the neurons is being formed by your repetition of the actions. And second, that you're getting reward, so it is getting more thick. So this is what is brain. Second, and the cue and the behavior. So this is the cue, this is the behavior, and this is the reward. So this is the triangle form that we should really understand. And this is how we learn a behavior. Just remember, the brain doesn't understand the concept of good or bad. It is us that we incorporate a behavior and repeatedly do it, like for example our screen time. And then very important that we are getting reward. So screen time is giving you a dopamine. Every time you scroll a Facebook, every time you scroll a Facebook post or something, a dopamine is released. So that acts as a reward for our brain. And then it is of course repetitive, so it becomes a habit. So this is what is very important that you have to understand. And about the screen time, I should tell you that, again, very small goals. Ask your child to, maybe manage, okay, when you give him a phone and you tell him that if you do it only for 10 minutes, I will reward you with something else. So he's able to initially manage it with small time, and then later you can increase the time by 15 minutes. And in fact, I would say from 10 go to 11. Be very, very small and consistent, so that you're also understanding that you're respecting the child. Child really likes the idea of using the screen. So, begin with very small steps. uh, there's another question, which is, my son doesn't involve in any activity for more than 2 minutes. He's 2.2 years old. Okay, so here I think, Nidhi, thank you for the question. Here, what you can do, Nidhi, that um, I think here there's a very huge need for you to reward the child. So I would say, if he doesn't involve more than 2 minutes, show him a reward initially. Tell him that there's a reward planned prior to this. Okay, so that would, children really work on the concept of reinforcement. They really like being appreciated, they really like the gifts and everything. Whatever your child likes, Nidhi, whatever. So maybe it can be food, or maybe it can be a car, or maybe something like colors, or maybe drawing books, or a particular gadget or something, or maybe even screen time for that matter. Tell your child, if you're able to do it for maybe 3 minutes, then I will give you a game to play. So I think, but initially tell him that if you complete this for 3 minutes, I will give you a chocolate. So he should know what he's going for. So slowly and gradually, and if you think that the child is not able to do it for 2 minutes, do not increase it by 2 to 5. Like literally move from 2 to 2.5, 2 to 3, then 3 to 3.5, and then 4. So he would also get confidence, because if you're saying that he doesn't like continue doing things for 2 minutes or more than that. So what happens is, he might later, when he's repeatedly listening to that he's not able to sit for long in something, that also affects the confidence of the child. So appreciate him. Appreciation in front of the family and everything can also work as a reward. So of course you're giving chocolate as a reward, but then add on one at the night when everybody's sitting at the dinner time and having dinner together. You can always appreciate the child, so he'll be encouraged and more to do all of this behavior. So start with small, start with 3, and you will see gradually he's able to pick up more, but slowly and gradually build that pace. Okay, that is what I would say. And very again, I would like to put forward that point, Nidhi, here, that collaboratively work with the child. If maybe for example he's just 2 years, so I will ask any, like, one of my person, and maybe one of the child in my family, that okay, we both will draw, and whosoever, you can have like a simple competition with your child. Whosoever does it for 3 minutes, then they will get a chocolate, or then they will get a gift from Papa. So something like that. So you can always add a very healthy competition to your child's life, and that would really encourage. And since he's a son, sons are really, he would be very enthusiastic to do that. I think I did answer your question here. Okay, any more questions? Please come up with more questions. So I specialize with anxiety and depression, and also ADHD. So I have more than 5 years of experience, and I've been working as a clinical psychologist and also an art therapist. I have also a page on Instagram by the name Antarmana by Anchal Alak. I'm definitely here to answer all the questions, but any time in the future, if you want to connect with me, you can definitely come there. Okay, very, very interesting question here. How can you differentiate between bribe and reward? Bribe and reward, see, bribe, when I say bribe, is usually a term when we use with adults, and bribe comes with a very negative kind of an image, I would say. Reward is actually a reinforcement. Reinforcement means reinforcing a particular behavior, which you're helping a child to reinforce a positive behavior. So this is very important, that this is the exact difference, that bribe, I would say, has a little negative setback, and reward has a positive setback here, where it would say that it is reinforcing, which is increasing a person's behavior. So if you want your child to study more, you're rewarding the behavior to increase it, reinforce it. Yeah. So that is the difference between bribe and reward. But definitely when we come to children, of course, slowly and gradually, I understand where this question is coming from, that of course, always giving your child rewards would you know work as a bribe. We people can consider that. But then I would say that it is also increasing the behavior, but then you can always choose the intervals. So, like for example, that initially you started with 4, later you increase the intervals between the actions. So like you can always say that, now after that you have achieved this level, there are levels in the game. So you can always have a smaller level initially, and then you can increase the levels for the rewards. You can always say now after 10 days, now after 20 days. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. But then the child will get used to it. Initially, when you're forming the behavior, you'll have to just increase the level. There has to be some excitement for the child. You just remember the time when we were children and we used to get stars. So that was also a reward. So you not necessarily you'll always have to, I would say, choose chocolate or a pasta. But then you can always choose signals, like what I really believe, and I always tell my parents here, that you always can have a behavioral chart. So behavioral chart is what, that like for example, we can have mama, papa and bacha, 3 columns there, and even if there are grandparents or if any other people in the family. So if you want your child to incorporate a particular behavior, for example, reading a book, so everyone reads a book. So now Dadi also reads the book, Papa also reads the books, Mama also reads the book, and the Bacha also reads the book. And whosoever reads a book, you always get a tick. And after 4 days, the one who completes the entire line will get a star. So that is also a reward for the child. That is also a reinforcement for the child. So that's we can just add on behavioral chart. You can have a very big chart at your place, and where there are columns, and just like in there are in schools. And that that is a very successful way of having a routine, incorporating, and very successful way of having a routine in a child's life. Then we have another question by Samdarsh here. What are the benefits of forming routines, especially for children? The benefits for forming routines are, one, that thank you for the question. The benefits here are that it will help your child to, one, the concept of time management. They would know how to schedule a time. They would they will interact with the clock board. So at 9 o'clock you'll have to do something. So that would of course help you with the time management. Then of course emotional stability. And emotional stability means that of course with routines there is a prediction that comes up. So with prediction there's you would know what to do next. So mama, I know that after dinner we have to wash our hands. Oh, I've done it. So that would help your child to have more confidence and have more, I would say, successful way of dealing with things. And this childhood works as a groundwork for your later your growth in life. So your child would always be very confident with their approach. So I think self-regulation is the third one, which your child will be benefit with that. He can develop his own habits. And sometimes you can always ask the child to pitch in the idea of having a new routine in the day. So like ask your child, what do you want? Okay, yeah, mama, papa, I want to have more of playing in the game. So you can always add that. So 1 week for papa, second week for mama, and third week for the bacha. You can always ask the child to pitch in the ideas that he wants to add. So that would be very interesting, and he would understand the importance of having I would say the routines. So now there's another question. Please explain what are the signs of ADHD, because my child is very naughty and throwing things always, if time allows. Yeah, definitely I would love to, Nidhi. Thank you for the question here. So ADHD basically is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So when I'm saying there are 3 domains, okay? One is the attention, the other is impulsivity, and third is the hyperactivity. There are three main domains that we work around ADHD. Okay, so and also we have to understand that uh, these behaviors, these symptoms are there. Okay, their attention, the child is not able to pay attention, not able to concentrate in the task, is very confused, cannot sit at a place even for like a minute. It is very very hard for him to sit. Okay, but then that is all manageable. Then second is very important, which is hyperactivity. They are very hyper in their activities. One that then, of course, when you're not able to pay the attention, imagine once you're not able to pay the attention, then you get very hyper with the actions, with the thoughts. They'll be very very just coming up with what they want to say. They're always just saying things, always getting up from the places, just touching everything around here and there. So that is hyperactivity in their actions, in their behaviors that you would see. And third is impulsivity. Impulsivity is something that you would see in the actions by that always comes as a part of anger. So they become very aggressive. They don't really you know impulsive in how they eat also, how they study also. uh, they would say ha mama pad liya. So this is one of the way that you can always see that they're not able to pay attention. They're always hyperactive and always impulsive. And but then very important that as a psychologist I really want to put forward this thought. Of course symptoms are important, but then we should understand the time for how long the symptoms are. So at least 6 months. We should understand for a month first, and then later it can go down to 6 months, till how long that you have the symptoms. And third, very very important part for us to understand that if this has developed into a disorder, that it has started to influence the normal course of life. The child is not able to study, not able to perform in the academics because he is very hyperactive. ठीक है. Or if he is not able to, he's become so impulsive that he is not able to control his anger and is throwing things and getting very very aggressive. And again he's not able to pay attention in his academics, or hyperactive with his actions, that he's not able to sleep well. He's just running here and there in the room. So it is affecting the normal course of life. So that is what I would say ADHD is. So just remember that it should affect the normal course of life for it to uh, become a disorder. Okay. And then there is another question by Pratibha. My son is young to understand the routine. How can I explain it to him and inculcate one? Very very interesting question, Pratibha. But how young one, that I would want to know. And second, um, so I think if the child is young, so by till 5 years of age, child usually learns through imitation and observation. These are the two main ideas how the child is going to learn. If you're going to greet people like this, he would also start greeting people like this. If you want to say hello, so he would also start doing hello. So he would always learn what you're doing. So if you want to incorporate and you want to explain him the concept of the routine, then I will say that you start doing that. You start having a routine. You'll always see that when we were children, Pratibha, so we always used to involve ourselves in the intimate plays, the play settings like teacher teacher, doctor doctor, mama papa, ghar ghar. So what we used to do, we used to actually act like parents. And I think, just like my mama wears a sari and how she walks and how she used to go to a school and hold a bag and everything. So I think when the child is young, so whatever you want to inculcate the idea of routine, I think go ahead with you. Whatever you follow, if you wash your hands, you just tell, okay, wash your hands. So you start to have a routine together. So I think that would really help. Thank you. Are there any more questions? Please let me know. Please come up with more questions so that I can help you with that. Okay. So what we can do is we can do a quick recap of what we did today. Okay. A quick recap is that one, very important for us to understand that it is always a collaborative effort with the child. Always. If you want to do, if you want your child to do something, always do it with him or her. Always. So it's always a collaborative effort. Second, that you can always ask for your child's opinion. Okay, always ask for your child's opinions and ask him to pitch in for the ideas. It will make him more confident, it will make him more successful in his life. Okay, and then again, with the brain, if you want to have the science backed up with this, if then very important, have more repetitions. Okay, but then with the small changes, and then always add rewards. So these are the two important points when you want your brain to incorporate an idea. But remember, the brain doesn't understand good or bad. So whatever you want to, it's your judgment that is based. So for your children, you will be able to understand what is right and what is wrong. And but also, this is a very interesting fact these days, that when I work with children, I always ask them what is right, what is wrong. So they, when they tell me, so the behavior tends to become stronger for them to perform. So that's very important. And one, having a balance. Of course, you should encourage free play and unstructured play, but having a routine and balanced routine is very something that you should always encourage. But then with you, then benefits, of course, emotional stability, time management, self-regulation, cooperation, everything. Then remember that any behavior, for you to learn, you would always need a cue. You will always need an association that you would need to form with it, and then the child will learn it easier. And then of course you can add on with the rewards, not necessarily rewards like chocolates and pastas and everything. You can always add like a behavioral chart in the room where you can put stars for the child, and he would always be very encouraged to do that activity, and who gets more stars, and if somebody catches up till 10 stars, you might take him out for an ice cream, his favorite ice cream. So you can always do that. Okay, I think it was a helpful session for you all. Thank you for the time. Be safe, be good, please take care of yourself, and also if you have any questions, you can always put in the comments. And I also have a page, Antarmana. Please, you can come and reach me there. Antarmana by Anshul Alam on Instagram. Thank you for your time. It was great being here. Okay.